Welcome, guys, to another video. Today, we're going to be discussing baseball, who's the GOAT of baseball, etc. So let's get straight into it, boys.
That was smooth, Chimes.
All right, fellas, the topic of today's discussion is the GOAT of baseball. Who you got?
All right, who's starting us
Mike
off?
Trout.
Dylan, you start us off. All
Let
right,
the
give
Mike
us your
Trout-
opening statement. Give us your opening statement.
There's not really much to say. I've the talent on him is ridiculous. He's a career 304 hitter through 10 seasons in the league. I know he only has like half of Griffey's at bats, but he's my GOAT.
Gianluca, give your take.
Right now, I can't say Mike Trout is the GOAT due to the fact that he hasn't played like a full career yet. We don't know what's going to happen over the rest of his career. He could get injured. He could somehow, like some way, just tail off completely. We don't know. But the trajectory right now is there for him to eventually be the GOAT. I have Ken Griffey as the GOAT for, I guess, 3 reasons. Number one, just as pure raw talent, 5-tool player, fielding, hitting for power and contact. What else am I going to say? How he played in the PED era, and he not only performed exceptionally well, better than some of the players that were on steroids, which is a tough task, considering that, and Mike Trout hasn't, everyone's kind of on even playing field. I feel like Ken Griffey was actually, if anything, he was like an underdog in that era because he was the only one who was, or one of the few players that was clean, just like Jeter. And I guess the last reason is just kind of his overall career statistics. He never hit for never got 3,000 hits, but we don't know if he never got injured. If he could eventually eclipse that number. But he did have over 600 home runs, over 1,800 RBIs. Obviously, lots of the writers who vote for the Hall of Fame agree with me. Has one of the highest percentages. Was it 99.9 or 8? Mariano Rivera is the only one with a higher vote total to enter the Hall of Fame.
All right, I'm going to go with a hot take here. I'm going to say Babe Ruth is the GOAT. And before you guys, jump on me like little rabid dogs you are,
You're so stupid.
he was from a totally different
Ruth.
time period. One, had no technology that today's guys have, like Ken Griffey and Mike Trout, like you guys said. None of that technology, none of those coaches, and the standard of living for baseball is higher today compared to back then. And Babe Ruth is, I think, the best generational talent, which makes him the greatest player of all time in baseball.
All right, so Gianluca and Matthew, the audience knows you're wrong. Me and Dylan know you're wrong. I'm sure the mediator knows you're wrong, but I'm going to have to tell you why you're wrong too. Okay, first of all, let's start with Matthew's argument here. You're talking about a guy who played with Mario and Luigi, the Italian plumbers, pitching him the baseball. I know that's not a legitimate argument. All right, I'm joking. I'm a Yankee fan as well. But for me, the GOAT argument is split into 2 debates. You got the old era and the modern era. Babe Ruth takes the old era GOAT.
You could even argue that, to be honest.
You're playing guys that don't even throw as hard. Again, the technology is not the same. You can't compare the athleticism and the talent hitters had to have back then compared to what they have to today. Sure, if Babe Ruth played today, maybe he could have had that talent. He could have acquired it. He would have trained differently, but he did not. So we can't put him in that same conversation. As for Gianluca, longevity is part of baseball, correct? We don't consider Aaron Judge a top 10 player in MLB right now for the simple reason he cannot stay on the field for 160 games. His skill was there. I'll give that to you. But Mike Trout, consistently year in and year out, is a top finisher in MVP voting. He's the first player in MLB history to have 7, not 1, 7 top 2 MVP finishes in his first 8 seasons. This season was the first time since his rookie year that he did not finish top 3 in voting. Oh, and what else does he have? Oh, right. He has how many Silver Sluggers? I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. He has 7 Silver Slugger awards. 7. Okay. He hits above 300 consistently every year. He's on pace to smash 600 homers. He's on pace to smash 3,000 hits, and he's on pace to smash a career 400 on base percentage with probably a career 900 or 1,000 OPS.
Okay. Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. As I said, I think Mike Trout has the trajectory to be the greatest player of all time. I'm just saying right now, you can't say that until he completes his career, has all those statistics, has everything that you're preaching he's going to get. Because you don't know what can happen. He can have the same thing that like happened to Griffey and kind of derail your career a little bit, and his numbers don't end up being what you think they're going to be, or he doesn't even maybe his career just ends. Like Griffey was able to pull through, for over 20 seasons, even though he had that injury. So you don't know.
Let me ask you something, Jomo.
Yeah. I think if we're going can pull through for 20 seasons. Babe Ruth did it too.
Okay. I don't think every baseball. Okay, if Mike Trout tears his ACL, everyone. If Mike Trout tears his ACL, like 3 times, okay.
Babe Ruth was probably drinking beer in the dugout. What are you talking about? It's a whole different ball.
Trout's also been kind of injury prone.
I want to respond to Gianluca real quick. Because if we're going purely based off of stats, as they have it right now, Mike Trout right now, what Ken Griffey had, then Chimes is right. Babe Ruth's the GOAT, right?
No, I'm not.
No,
okay.
But when you look at what
I'm not looking at
has done in the span of what he has done, it is greater than any single baseball player in history.
But you're looking at the stats too.
What? I'm looking at the statistics. But what I'm saying, I'm talking about overall statistics. His career has not gotten to 20 seasons because he hasn't had the opportunity to get to 20 seasons.
No, I know. I'm saying
what Mike Trout has done in the period of time that he has done it. Right, he's had 9 years in the league.
No, I agree with you. I think he has like the greatest stretch.
You got to stop talking.
I think he has
too early to call him.
One of the great, like probably the greatest stretch, like of the first 10 years of anyone in the MLB. Considering also the fact that he is injury prone, and he is playing he's getting fewer at bats because he's injury prone, but he's still putting up insane numbers with insane home runs, but. Again, you have to, I feel like, develop like a whole, to be the greatest, you have to have the total stats, those 600 home runs, those 3,000 hits, in order to be the great. You have to play all those seasons. Now, let's say he gets injured, right, and he only plays those 10 years. You could say Mike Trout was probably the greatest talented player. Didn't have the chance to get to all the accolades. We don't know what would have happened to him, but
that same argument could be made for Ken Griffey. Most talented player was not able to get there because he was not able to stay on the field.
I mean, yeah, you could say that about him too.
Right, which brings me to my point that if we're going off that,
I'm saying he could have even been greater than he was. But I still think his stats are still good enough to be the greatest, and you consider the fact that he was injured. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like saying Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT now. You have to wait.
That's laughable, though.
True. It's not laughable.
Because
he's played 10 years.
Oh,
what can happen in the next 10 years?
It's not laughable.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is on a greater track than Tom Brady right now.
Is he the GOAT right now?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he could be the GOAT. He's not the GOAT now. The argument is who is the GOAT now in the present time.
Yeah.
Right? 3 full seasons.
And if that was actually a good point. Because if Patrick Mahomes continues his trajectory, he'll probably surpass Tom Brady, right? He would.
Eventually, yeah.
Okay.
But you don't know.
So then but you don't know what's going to happen. I know Trout's that's my point. Because I'm saying if Trout continues this way, obviously he's going to be the GOAT. He has the 5 tools. Like that's the difference between Trout and Griffey versus Babe Ruth. I mean, yes, Babe Ruth did pitch as well.
The reason I'm
like
going to continue to
fast
press
going
you
right
guys that
field.
you were wrong is because you're comparing two totally different sports, and here's why.
Okay, I'm not.
No,
You're not really.
No, it's not.
No,
I know we're comparing different sports.
NFL
Yeah, that's
Compare-
besides the
no,
point,
no,
though.
no.
It's just a comparison. That's all it is.
Right, but
using
the
an
NFL
analogy.
is based
All right.
on accolades. You need years to get those accolades. Baseball, tell me if I'm wrong. When you look at GOAT, it has to be purely individual. You look at guys like Ken Griffey, they couldn't win a championship by themselves. Mike Trout cannot do it either. So you got to look at what they can do individually. And what Mike Trout has done individually in his 10 years in the league is far greater than any player in the history of the sport. So if you agree with that statement, that means Mike Trout has had skill better than any player to ever step on a baseball field. Henceforth, giving him the greatest skill to ever be on a baseball field. And again, making him the best player to ever live in the world.
Okay, Alessia, let me ask you something.
Maybe just
Mark McGwire had the most home runs, right?
Took
In a
steroids.
single season? Yeah.
So steroids.
Thank you.
Do
Moving on.
not care.
No. I get what
Do
you're
you
saying.
consider him?
You could
Do
say,
you
okay,
consider
you could.
him the greatest slugger ever?
You
No,
could say
because
took
Barry
steroids.
Bonds.
Okay,
Because
so
you're
wait.
basing it off. You're basing it
Barry-
off.
Like, you're
You're
saying
basing
Trout
it
had
off
the
such a
greatest.
restricted time limit that you don't give him time. You need to give Mike Trout time.
What do you wait? Like, are you saying like Trout is the greatest talent to step on the field? Pretty much, like, is that what you're saying?
100%.
Like in his prime, like the best, like when he was in peak condition. Like, you
In
could make that
baseball
argument
wise,
for
yeah.
Griffey. Yeah, but you could make that argument for Griffey. Like when Griffey was healthy, like the best year he ever had to step on the field.
I'm more than willing to make that argument with you that that's incorrect and that Trout has had a better prime than Ken Griffey ever had.
I mean, like, okay, like there's multiple seasons you can compare. Like, what about the year?
it's not about the multiple seasons. Let's look. First of all, let's look at one thing you got to consider is how long their prime is. Right? When Mike Trout's prime started from what, year 2?
Okay.
asking you, do you think
Babe
Mike
Ruth's prime started in year 2 as well? He had a 315 batting average.
Dude, we're just laughing at you.
You could
We're
go shut the
laughing
cock though.
I feel like
Okay, the one thing I'll actually give to Babe Ruth though, like the one thing is he was the only one.
this
out of
guy's
these
like
people-
Colin Coward.
No, he was the only one.
I mean,
that
it's
actually-
true. You're comparing
Nah,
apples and
you're not
oranges
even.
here.
You're not.
Chimes,
You're not making.
you would
bringing
say
up-
Iguodala, all
you know
right?
the
You
only-
would say Iguodala.
Curry or Iggy. Yeah,
You could-
Tribes wants Iggy.
If the Martians have
All
the
right, I'm gonna read you off some
Mike,
numbers.
wait, no,
I'm
Mike,
gonna
you
read
could
you
have
off some
brought up a
numbers.
strong point with Babe Ruth though.
I'm
that
gonna-
he-
I think
I'll-
Matt's trying to
Should I
talk.
say it
He's
after or
muted.
should I say it now?
Yeah, say it now. Say it now.
You could have. What you should have said is he's the only one that's like pitched and hit at a high level
Shohei
like
Ohtani.
that.
Okay, Dylan,
All
relax.
right. Yeah.
Just
let's
But
kidding,
like
go.
just
that's like
kidding.
hard to do. Like I'm just saying.
Say
like,
my
that would have been
opinion's
a
not
stronger
valid.
point. I'm just saying. I'm
I'm gonna read
Did
you guys.
points for you.
I'm gonna read you guys.
Shohei
some
threw
numbers,
harder
and I'm gonna
than
have you guys
he did.
guess what it is. 326, 323, 287, 299, 315.
Wait. What are you
306.
reading?
It's just batting averages.
Oh, thank you, Dylan. You're on my side.
Of random players.
312, 291, 281.
No.
Can you take a guess at what all those numbers represent?
Mike
Yeah,
Trout's
Mike
batting
Trout's batting averages.
For
It was
how
what?
many
First
years?
10 years?
2012,
Buddy,
2013, 2014.
Let me read you some numbers.
Dude, you could do that
Let
with
me read you
Griffey.
some
You want to do that
wait,
with
no,
Griffey?
You wanna do that with Babe Ruth?
327,
All right.
308, 309, 323.
Okay, all right,
What are you
you wanna-
talking about?
wait,
It's
can you stop talking for
stupid.
one second? Chimes, I want to give you a number from Babe Ruth's time, okay?
Go ahead.
Okay.
If you look at like
Guess what pitchers topped out at back then? I know. Just answer the question.
I'd say 60 to 70 miles an hour, but that's a generational
Wait.
talent.
You,
I don't
you
think
think
you
they
understand.
topped? Do you think they topped out at 60 to 70?
Yeah, because they were
Okay.
fucking plumbers.
You're way off. You're way off.
And what is it?
Bob Feller. I mean, he's obviously like a different breed, but he threw 90. Like he topped out around the 90s.
Okay, so
Low 90s.
that's even faster.
Yeah.
Alright,
my
I
point
expect
is though, maximum pitches today are about 103.
Yeah, that's maximum pitches.
Okay, and I just gave you the maximum pitch.
Can I add a
I
little?
just gave you the
argument
maximum.
to
No, I just
Yeah,
gave you
I
the
have a good
No,
maximum.
no,
argument.
I want
Okay,
you
shut
to
up.
give me the
Wait.
average.
Hey,
Guys,
Molly
guys,
speaking.
wait.
Molly speaking.
Wait.
Molly speaking.
My point is the hardest fastball thrown back then was 90 miles an hour. Let's say 91.
Guess what?
I
Hardest
don't
pitch
think you
today is
understand. It's
103.
in his
My-
generation.
All right,
It's the
Mrs.
best
Ruth,
of his
My
Molly,
point is, how can you
Mrs.
consider
Ruth.
someone better, more
Mrs. Ruth.
talented?
Mrs. Ruth, Molly's
Dylan,
talking.
I have an
please.
easy argument to what you just brought up.
Okay, let's hear it.
Like Chimes brought up earlier, the technology wasn't the same. Babe Ruth is considered one of the best power hitters in the game.
Which is comes back
his
to
average
my
bat
point.
speed. His average bat speed was 75 miles per hour, whereas Mike Trout's was 95. That's a huge difference in strength.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I don't think 90. I don't know where you're getting. I don't think 95. is
Where do you even
possible,
get?
but-
How do they even like?
What,
record
Mike
Babe
Trout's
Ruth's
bat
but
speed?
bad
Yeah.
speed?
You look at
95
next gen
miles per
stats
hour?
here. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Time out, but that brings me
Yeah.
to my point. That's
That's
why
a
I
huge
look at it
point.
as old
No,
generation go to new
yeah.
generation, and I want
Listen,
to. I want to.
if you
No,
compare
I need
the
to
two
go back to
players-
the Griffey point.
I agree. I think we should cut
Yeah.
Mrs. Ruth out
No.
of here real quick.
No, I actually think
Griffey
I know. I
versus
have a
Trout is
legitimate
a-
argument. I have a legitimate argument here. Okay. First of all, WAR. Do you like the stat? Don't like the stat.
Oh yeah, Mike
War,
Trout was
I don't know.
significantly better
All right,
fielder.
Babe
than
Ruth
base
wasn't
runner.
even around for war. So.
Yeah, WAR. I don't know. It's
Do you like wins? They had first of all, they have WAR for players.
I
that
know,
were-
I know they do. I know they do.
Or
I mean,
I think that's a beautiful stat. I think that
what? It's just like what everyone uses is like rating.
It's
Ken
win
Griffey,
average, right?
Ken
Okay,
Griffey
yeah.
played 21 regardless of whether he was injured or not. He played 21 seasons in the MLB. Trout has played 10. He has had 8 years other than his rookie season in which there was an all-star game, obviously disregarding the COVID shortened season. He has made 8 all-stars since his rookie season. Again, 7 silver sluggers, 7 top 2 finishes in the MVP voting. Putting that aside, WAR position players, Mike Trout has compiled in 10 seasons. Again, let's not forget that his rookie season was not a full rookie season. His at-bats were very, very minimal. Very minimal. And he has compiled a 75 career WAR in 10 seasons, 1,252 games. Ken Griffey has compiled an 83.8 WAR in 21
Let's look
seasons.
at Babe Ruth's.
And hold on, let me.
Wait,
gonna
does
check
WAR
out.
involve
I'd
like
love to.
the
I'd love
wins
to
the
look
team
at Babe
gets
Ruth's.
though?
No, it's they compile every stat in order to find like basically
WAR,
what his
WAR is
value
so
is by
obscure.
how many wins he gets you.
Yeah,
That's a very many. I mean,
It's
again,
wins
I know,
above
I
the
know. Okay, I
replacement.
know. That's
All right, Alessio, you want to see Babe Ruth's war?
and in wait,
162.1.
time out. This is actually interesting. Ken Griffey played 2,600 games, whereas Mike Trout has played 1,252 games. That is more than double the amount of games Mike Trout has played, and yet he's 4 WAR points off of him.
okay.
So
I
how,
rest
do
my
you,
case.
how do you explain the
I s-
162.1 war of Babe Ruth?
Okay, I'm
versus
not
Mike Trout's?
I'm not
I'm more-
necessarily. I mean,
I don't
I'm
base
sure-
it off
I-
You're
war.
picking and choosing your stats
No.
here.
I'm not picking and choosing. I'm
You
not
are.
picking and choosing.
Yeah,
No.
because then we can just bring up the Babe Ruth
No,
argument. That Babe
yeah,
Ruth
exactly.
is
Yeah,
the
it's-
highest
keep
score
going
in all of
circle.
At the beginning of
baseball.
the segment, I did say I look at it as 2 separate goats, old time and new time goats. I said you
Okay.
can't compare because the games were so different, the athletes were so different, the technology was so different as it is today. It was you and Dylan that were saying Babe Ruth pushed aside just because you didn't think he was the GOAT. That's for you guys to discuss. I'm not pushing aside anything Babe
You
Ruth
cut
did.
off our conversation.
I'm just because Molly was trying to speak to us, but
You cut off that conversation too.
I was saying that I don't think you can compare the 2 eras. If you guys think you can compare the 2 eras, go for it.
No,
It's
I
not even about
agree.
comparing. Compare the players themselves.
I will sit back and let you guys do that.
Stats-
I'll mute myself right now. You
Without
guys-
You know,
stats.
Alessio,
Without
do you know
stats.
the unfair
Just
thing
look
about
at the
this
two.
conversation? Do you know the unfair thing about this conversation? You have 2 different debates going on. On one hand, you're debating who's the GOAT, and one hand, you're debating who's the most talented. And I think all of us agree that Trout, on the
Yeah.
trajectory he's going, will be the GOAT.
Exactly.
Wait, so you think?
On the trajectory.
Well, no,
he's
wait, no.
going, he will
You
be the
just.
GOAT.
And
you
on
just
the other
said
hand,
you just
I
said
think-
talent.
You
This
did.
That's a
talent.
different
I-
conversation.
Yeah, I'm a little confused here.
To
You
me,
you
in
mentioned
Alessio-
talent.
To
Alessio
me,
has a strong
in
feeling.
baseball, talent signifies GOAT.
Yes.
just because baseball is such an
But
individualized
you can also
sport.
yes, it ranges from
But
every
you can
sport.
you can also look at career, right? You can look at career
Sure,
accomplishments.
Chimes.
Yes.
Actually,
But
yes,
MJ versus
yes.
LeBron,
Babe
it's
Ruth
exactly what
stats.
happens.
Let's hear
Yeah.
the Babe Ruth.
76
Yeah, let's
championships.
hear him. Let's
LeBron
hear him.
had what?
Okay,
Great
no,
Bambino.
let's hear him. Okay,
You
another
know what,
sport,
Chimes?
but let's hear him.
You do that. I'm gonna purchase you a signed Babe Ruth ball while we're at it. You go ahead and make your argument.
All right, I'll sell it for $3.4 million. Okay, because that's how
You
much
can-
it's worth.
Okay, great.
Because he's dead.
Great. Okay.
Don't disrespect
I
my
mean-
boy Babe like that.
All right, first of all, eBay has a Babe Ruth signed ball for $75,000. I don't know where you're getting $3 million from, but
That was a Mickey like signed card or something, Chimes.
Okay, you guys can go ahead and make your argument.
No, there's no argument anymore. We already agreed that Trout is more talented. Right,
I know,
Chimes?
no, I mean, I still give some credit to Griffey though. For like,
Okay.
at,
All right,
like I
get
think
the hell out of here, John.
no, at Griffey's
Griffey's like
What?
number 3 on here.
All right. Well,
No,
we got about 10
Chimes,
minutes left.
Again.
No,
You
no, I'm not
cannot
saying
compare
Griffey.
the
No,
old
I'm saying
game
I
to
think
new game.
Griffey's the GOAT.
Okay,
Like-
so how are you comparing Mike Trout and Babe Ruth?
If you're comparing, what?
I'm not. I
You
literally have
were.
said that so many times. I said
No,
you can't
Dylan
compare them.
was.
Okay, so why are you calling
that's
him
Dylan's
out?
argument.
Why are you
Who do you
calling
think?
him
All right, who do you think comes second to Trout if Trout ends up?
Ken
being
Griffey,
who he
100%.
becomes?
Ken Griffey
Okay,
Jr.
thank you.
You know, like, are you? It's not
Okay,
okay. It's
so
not
I'm
even
just-
like a question. Like,
Yeah, so
Babe
I'm,
Ruth
I'm-
is-
That's for the current GOAT, not for
Yeah.
the.
okay, enough with the
All-time
goat.
So I
Alright,
love
wait,
how
okay.
we're
So
in current
once Mike, all right,
agreement
so
that
can we agree that then
Molly,
Griffey
Yeah,
right
I
now is
agree-
the
I
GOAT,
agree
but then
there
when
should
Trout
be-
finishes, then Trout's the GOAT. That's what we'll say.
Yeah,
Look,
can we
I will always
find
when
some
I,
common ground?
my final statement will be when I watch Mike Trout play, he does things that you have never seen people do, and he steals bags. He has a good decent glove. I won't say he has great defense because I've made this argument many times. I think he's a very overrated fielder, and the advanced defensive
One thing
metrics
Griffey
the
probably had
advanced
on him.
metrics do back me up on that. But the raw offensive talent that Mike Trout possesses is far greater than any modern player, not on steroids, because if you include steroids, obviously Barry Bonds is up there with his MVPs, his home runs, his intentional walks, his on-base percentage, has ever had, especially in the modern era. No, this is not a slight at Babe Ruth, who is the old GOAT. I can agree with that. I take Chimes aside. But Ken Griffey is a second place, obviously great player. But to me, Trout plays a game that Ken Griffey can't even compare to, especially when he's on pace to have double his WAR in the same amount of games with a higher average, more homers, more hits, higher on base percentage, higher OPS. There's nothing more to compare.
I mean, I don't know about this dumbass WAR statistics and Babe Ruth's the GOAT, but one thing though, like I think we're forgetting about Griffey is like Griffey did play in the PED era, and like
You already said that.
no, I know. I'm just saying like
He's
I feel like
bringing it back up. Calm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I don't really like
no, because I feel like
Obvi-
he would have had more MVPs. He would have
if
had
he took
more,
PEDs.
No,
Obviously.
he
No,
didn't.
that-
No,
he-
he
no, no,
didn't.
no, no,
The
if he
players
did-
surrounding him, the pitchers were throwing.
Oh, you're saying award wise? Okay, yeah.
Also,
sure.
the
Saying
year in
that,
which
yeah.
Sammy
He's pro- maybe
Sosa
his-
won
maybe
MVP,
his-
but
maybe his stats would have even been better. Like we don't know. Like the pitchers were like all roided up. Like I don't know. I'm
That's
just
not a
saying.
bad point. Yeah,
The
I
use
got.
of
No, I
Vast
agree.
Say
That's
that.
like my
Yeah.
other thing. He was playing in one of the toughest eras to play baseball ever.
No, yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
And
I
another
still
unfair
stand
thing
strong.
that Alessio
That's
kind
what
of
I'm
took
saying.
away from Griffey and gave to Trout was he used the eye test on talent, whereas he's
Well,
watched
Griffey,
like Trout's whole
passes
career.
the
and
eye
never
test
really got to
also.
see
Like,
it.
are you kidding me?
So if you
Griffey's
Griffey's
like
defense is probably
insane,
better
yeah.
too.
Yeah, it was better.
so if you really got to
Yeah.
if we were able to see both eras, I think your opinion would be a little different.
you could also
But-
make the same argument for Baby Ruthie. So
Exactly.
Exactly.
Saying it all along.
I don't know. Maybe Chimes came out victorious here.
The great Bambino. I'm telling
Maybe
you.
he kind of looks like Babe Ruth. He's got the weight.
I'm just anorexic, my guy.
Actually,
You're
talking about
remember.
we already know. what's
Talking
up.
about weight here.
We already we already know what's up. The Babe Ruth video, picture of Dylan. Hold on, continue
Boy,
your
are these
discussion.
fans in for a freaking pleasure here.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
what
guys
Babe
really
Ruth?
are. Matt, do you know when that picture's from?
What were we talking about? The face paint? At
No, the Great Bambino picture. Hold on. You guys can keep discussing it. Keep talking GOAT. Try and give some more takes about Babe Ruth.
No, I mean that's why
better.
I think actually the PED point, like I don't think I brought it up early. Like I brought it up like in the very beginning.
You should have elaborated more on it.
I did. I mean, yeah, I think that's like huge. Consider like think about like all the like no one's like for example the last Hall of Fame ballot, like no one's making the Hall of Fame because they all took PEDs. Like all of the great players during that era, were using PEDs, which is like diminishing from like what Griffey could have done even more. Like maybe
we
like
should start another argument.
Clemens on roids.
PEDs
like,
in the MLB, should they be used or not? That would be a good argument.
How about no?
What?
Yeah.
They should not be used. Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, 100% no.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just see players like at their natural talent.
All right, Alessio, you got the picture.
I think for every sport they shouldn't be used, honestly. Like
Dylan,
I agree.
Just
football.
Wait, just hang up the recording. Just stop the recording, and when I find it, we'll restart the recording, and we'll just.
The fuck are you looking? Thank you guys so much for watching. Chimes, take it away.
Don't forget to smash that like button, turn on post noties, and subscribe. Man Cave out.